Good afternoon. I request the dignitaries to be on the dais. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. Quote unquote, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Good afternoon to all who have gathered here today. I take great pleasure in welcoming you all to the valedictory program of the third series of International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation in Academia and Industry, jointly organized by the Departments of Economics, English Aided and Self-Supporting, History and Travel and Tourism Management, BCom Bank Management, Business Economics, and BCom Corporate Secretaryship Aided and Self-Supporting in collaboration with Naan Mudhalvan Skill Initiative, Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. Let us begin our program with an invocation. I request you all to rise for Tamil Thai Varthu.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிழ் தெக்கணமும் மதி சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே வாழ்த்ததுமே.
Thank you, girls, for that mellifluous rendition. Flowers speak the language of affection and warmth. Let us greet our dignitaries and guests for the day with a bouquet of beautiful flowers. Thank you. I now invite Dr. J. Mangair Karasi, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English and co-convener of this conference, to formally welcome the gathering.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய மாலை வணக்கம். நன்றி. Respected dignitaries on the dais. Month of Margari that gives us energy. It's like a meditation process, but in Ethiraj, we just converted that as an academic process, and with the integration of everything, culture, education, psychology, literature, history, everything combined with business studies gathered here to welcome you all to our interdisciplinary conference on academia and industry. Our leader, our respected chairman, Thiru V.M. Muralidharan, guides us to get into this process in a methodical way. When we approached him a couple of years ago, sir, இது தானா சேர்ந்த கூட்டம் சார் அப்படின்னு நாங்கள் அவரை அப்ரோச் பண்ணும்போது he was very happy. Whenever we do something as a team, he's a team leader. And as our leader, he was very happy to support that team. தானா சேர்ந்த கூட்டமாக இருந்தாலும் Ethirajians will make a mark. That's his belief in us. And we are here to prove his belief. I welcome our leader, our chairman, Thiru V.M. Muralidharan. When it's Margari, it's famous for Andal. We have our Andal here, our dynamic leader, Dr. D.B. Usharani, and as her friends, all 7 HODs joined with her to initiate this process, and then now we are here with the success note. I welcome our leader, Dr. D.B. Usharani here. Our principal always supports us with a smile. In her eyes, we see lot of ideas, and as her team members, we are here to execute it, and she knows we will do our best. I welcome our dynamic leader, our principal, beloved Dr. Uma Gauri ma'am. Our vice principal, a silent supporter, Ms. Vijaya. Our vice principal self-supporting, Dr. Jayanti. And our co-conveners, HODs from various departments, Department of English Aided and Self-Supporting, Usha Priya ma'am, Ms. Beulah, HOD Self-Supporting Corporate Secretaryship, Dr. Kausalya, Dr. Hema Bindu. I welcome you all here. Our faculty members, they are the backbone of support to all of us. I welcome our faculty members, coordinators, and other faculty members from various city colleges. I welcome all of them here. I welcome our resource person, Vidya, here. I welcome you, ma'am, for this international conference. Not last, but not the least, our student friends. They were our backbones, and we are here. And when we delegate that work, they enjoyed like anything. We think only they enjoy culturals, but even this academic process, they enjoyed well, and they were our strong support. I welcome all of you girls here for this valedictory function. On behalf of the management, principal, and faculty members, I welcome you all to this gathering. I welcome our guest of the day, Dr. Katharina Goggin, Director, Goethe Institute, Mr. Sriharan Balan, Managing Director, Majora Travel Services Private Limited. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for those warm welcoming words. I now like to invite Chairman of Ethiraj College Trust, Thiru V.M. Muralidharan, to deliver the presidential address. He has been the guiding light behind all our endeavors, and his consistent support motivates us to expand our boundaries. Over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to all of you. And it's one of the first events during this new year. So, very happy new year to all of you. And we have excellent guests, Dr. Katharina Gordon, Director of Goethe Institute. Thank you very much for being here. Being our neighbor, she's coming for the first time. So, we'll have to penalize you for some things, but still, welcome. And my friend, Mr. Hariharan Balan, Managing Director, Madura Travel Service, and Chancellor of Madura Institute of Tourism Studies. Welcome. Our Principal, Dr. S. Uma Gauri, our Vice Principals, Ms. Vidya and Dr. M. Jayanti, and the two pillars for this event, Dr. Usha Rani, our former Principal in charge, and Dr. Usha Priya, our former Vice Principal. இதுக்கு மேல நான் பேர் சொன்னேன்னா நிஜமாவே தானா சேர்ந்த கூட்டம் இல்ல. My speech will be only about that. Okay. So when I was just thinking about what to speak, it was talking about what industry, academia, research and innovation, multidisciplinary. Research and innovation are very loosely used words nowadays, and industry, academia is also very loosely used. These are all definitely required, and I'm sure that in various concepts, various ways, we are all trying to do those things. But I found two things. Multidisciplinary is an easier word said than done. I mean, it's not so easy because it's not just multiple disciplines. In fact, multiple disciplines, to be disciplined together is itself a very difficult thing. Actually, it's not a joke because there are multiple objectives of the various departments, and to find synergy in that and getting it together and doing it the third time, fantastic. In fact, it reminded me of the Kerala boat race. In the Kerala boat race, I used to wonder, there will be a long boat with probably some 25-30 people. I used to think, why do you add weight and then push it? I mean, I can see a boat with probably 2 or 3 people moving, but this 20-30 people, it moves at a faster pace than a normal 2 people or 3 people boat. I think that is something a lot to learn from. I think when people get together like the Tanas and the Kutam, the energy and the type of effectiveness that comes is something which is to be felt, to be believed. In that context, if you look at it, it is not just that there are 25 people. Apparently, the people in the front have a different role. In the people in the middle also, at various levels, they have different roles. They have so many things. And the last few people, in the normal small thing, it's called a cox. All these people have different roles. And on top of it, there is something else which adds a lot of value. That's where all of you come. The audience. From the side, there'll be sounds. Come on, come on, come on. And that adds greater value than even the people sitting there. So the contribution of the audience to make the people on stage perform better. In fact, I should congratulate the students who performed on stage this afternoon. And I'm always very happy when I see students perform this traditional art. And that too with so much of involvement, energy, and what you call, really, they make the audience feel the pulse. And every time you all applauded, I could understand how the energy was infectious across the auditorium. So all these things require teamwork. Teamwork is again a bad word. I think it has to actually collaborate a lot. And in that context, fantastic job by all the departments for getting together to do this international conference. And again, when it comes to another bad word has come nowadays, beyond innovation and research, this is called AI. If you have not heard that word AI in the last 2 days, then something is utterly wrong. I'm sure that everybody who came on stage would have said this word AI. Because that makes us feel that we are modern, we are the current. So I also better mention that word AI. So that is something, but on a different note, somebody asked me, will AI replace jobs? This is a very common question nowadays. Will AI replace jobs? I just thought about it and then realized AI is only a new name to something which was there earlier, which was probably called something else earlier, like IoT, which was called something else earlier. Only thing is, every time, especially in this IT industry, we create these jargons. That's the only way to keep everybody feel that we are doing something new and keep the fear in people. Have you heard about this tool called Abacus? Have you heard about it? Have you seen, if at all? I do not. Oh, fantastic. So it's a tool to, do your maths by moving those beads. I tell you, that's probably, certainly AI. It helped you do something by assisting you. It was one of those first tools that was there which helped you do things not by the normal method. To cut the story and move on to probably the 1980s, there was this, currently also it is there, we used to have this Excel sheet. It was called Lotus Excel sheet. Excel sheet is something where you fill in all the data and in one go you can, get your totals, you can get the different columns, you can pivot and get you different results. I'll tell you, people who used to master Excel were treated with so much of awe and reverence about 30, 40 years ago. And that was again artificial intelligence in a different form. So if you look at it, artificial intelligence is not something new. And every time when something came, we always find either a new problem to solve or we suddenly do something and then we realize we have been living with the problem. We have not known that problem. I'm sure that Hariharan would have probably seen so much of transformation in tourism. What was not there earlier, we have lived with that. In a different way, if you look at it, luxury about 150 years back was horse carriages and possibly heavy Maharaja dress, no AC cars. But today, if you look at it, even the Maharaja cannot go in a horse carriage. He has to be in a car. Even today, the most least expensive car does have a air conditioner. Do you have a car without air conditioning? No. So that's no more a luxury. We were living with the problem. Today we are clear we will not live with the problem. We have a solution. So in every walk of life, you will find that you have been living with something. I do not know. None of the people in the other side of the auditorium, this side live it, can even think that you can be without, forget even the smartphone. I am saying a hand phone. I don't know whether you know how life was without a hand phone. It was only a phone at homes. In fact, when I lived, there was one phone in the street. And we had a pride and privilege to say that I could give a card which said name with PP number. Does anybody know what is a PP number? It's not passport. Particular person. I can give a card wherein I say my name VM Muralidharan, PP number something. That will mean the fourth house in my street where they had a phone and I had the privilege, if they receive a call, they will come to my house and tell me, you have received a call, come and pick it up. So that I could give a phone number. was like a pride of what not. So even to say that in my street there's a house having phone, and sometimes some people were not so very considerate. They'll say, no, I can't give you, you can't use my number as PP number. That's a different negotiation that we had to do. But more than that, what I'm saying is, we had no phones to having phones to having color phones, which was a luxury. We had only black phones. Color phones was actually against rules. Then we got the pager, then the key phone, mobiles, then the smartphones. In all these cases, if you look at it, nobody lost jobs. They moved from one job to another. About 25 years back, there was a spate of phone booths called PCOs right across the town. It was a fantastic luxury. It was so comfortable. You go to a PCO, call your home and tell, I'm right now leaving from college. All the classmates, we're all going for a movie. I'll come back 3 hours later. It was a luxury. Having a PCO nearby to call your home. Now, after the mobiles came, where are the PCOs? There's no PCO. What happened to those people who were running the PCOs? We had yellow cabs. It moved from yellow cabs to fast track. When fast track looked like fantastic innovation, then came the Uber and Ola. Where are the fast tracks? So every time there's something happening. In fact, somebody said that, even for tourism, coming to your space, they said that, okay, today Indians travel all over the place. And I'm mark my words, in probably 7-8 years, tourism will be to other planets. It will be a normal tourism. Like the way you travel to US, you will probably, somebody who can afford will travel to Mars or probably another place. Just like that. I mean, it's just that the speed of spacecrafts are becoming faster. The way they control the air and all that will be, oxygen will be different. Ultimately, like your Bisleri water, you'll carry oxygen units and then keep moving. Because you're explored everything. Or anything. Research and innovation with available tools. Today you'll be doing something. Tomorrow you'll be doing something else. 5 years down the line, none of us know what we'll be doing, but it will be something more different. Keep your learning abilities alive. Learning abilities. Don't ever leave things. Don't leave a gap. Don't say that, okay, I've learned something. Next 5 years, I don't have to learn anything. Don't do that. Keep on learning as you go along. And I'll tell you, every moment you will be relevant to what's happening around in this world, and you will be certainly extremely successful. My best wishes to all of you. May God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights on research and innovation, which are the cornerstones of growth and evolution. Nothing can move forward without innovation. Our next segment is the keynote address. We are fortunate to have with us today a distinguished guest, Dr. Katrina Georgen. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Director of the Goethe Institute, Chennai. Dr. Georgen studied theatre and film studies at the Sorbonne Nouvelle, Paris, and studied media dramaturgy at Johannes Gutenberg University, Maine. She received her doctorate in Film Studies Department, Johannes Gutenberg University. She was a Dutch language assistant at IIT Mumbai from 2012 to 13. She served as a lecturer at the Institute of Media Culture and Theatre of the University of Cologne. She had worked in the office of the Friends of Wolof Richards Museum and the Museum Ludwig Cologne from 2016 to 18. Dr. Georgen is fluent in written and spoken English, fluent in written and spoken French, speaks Hindi, and is currently learning Tamil. I'm sure she has many interesting insights to share with us as her career has spanned across countries and across various disciplines. I invite you, ma'am, to deliver the keynote address.
Good afternoon from my side as well, and rightly said, Happy New Year to all of you. Um, thank you for having me this afternoon, and especially thank you for this wonderful opening cultural performance. That was the perfect energy for this afternoon. I actually thought about what I should speak to you about today, and since it's an interdisciplinary conference, I decided to do something that I rarely do, but I will actually speak about Goethe. I'm the head of the Goethe Institute, so it does make sense, but we are more known in India as the Max Müller-Verfahren. So do give me a sign, who has ever heard of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe? This side? Okay. Goethe lived, to just give you some idea, 1749 to 1832. And if you ever have a chance to travel in Germany, you will notice that every second city has a story to tell about Goethe. It can either be, this is the chair where Goethe was sitting when writing this poem. This is the house where he stopped on his way from Frankfurt to whatever. This is the wine he enjoyed the most when traveling in this region. Basically, any kind of trivia would be associated with Goethe, which tells you a little bit how important he is to German culture. Basically, he's the most famous author we have. And he did not only travel extensively in Germany, you will also have the same stories in the neighboring countries, because he was very interested in traveling, and as an author, he also documented all of his travels. But then again, who was he? He actually studied law, following his father's footsteps. His father was a lawyer, and according to himself, never got the appreciation he deserved. So he decided to project all of his ambitions onto his son, which I think is a story a lot of us are familiar with. But the Goethe Institute was not named after Goethe because he's a good lawyer or because he had trouble with his father. The Goethe Institute was named after him because he is the most influential German author there is. He's often compared to Shakespeare due to the fact that he's written in almost every genre you can think of. He published theater plays such as Faust. He published novels such as The Sorrows of Young Werther, and poems that have inspired other artists ever since. You will find musical pieces by Mozart, by Beethoven, by Schubert, who all are inspired by texts from Goethe. If you ever have the chance to read the first part of Faust, please do so. Generation after generation in Germany had to read that in school, and all of them had to wonder, would I have said yes to the literal devil's offer? Basically asking, how far am I willing to go to get what I want? So it's a very interesting read. If you need to choose one Goethe's text, please start with Faust. But Goethe's fame as an author is actually also not what I decided to speak about today. I'm doing like a very long introduction, as you're noticing. From my school days, because you can't not learn about Goethe in school in Germany, I did remember he was a lawyer, he was a statesperson, he's this illustrious author. He was also an unhappy lover, by the way. People who write a lot of letters can be remembered as this unhappy lover as well, but that's a different story to be told. I knew all of those things about him, and yet it was only when working on a project in Chennai last year, which was called Traveling Plants, I came across Goethe as a botanist. I knew that he had been doing botanical studies, but in the German story writing, it's more like a hobby. He's this famous author who also had an interest in botany, which is no surprising because looking at the time he lived in, you have all those botanical excursions, you have the discoveries. So as a child of his time, of course, he would be interested in botany too, as well. Only here did I discover that he's actually being reread as a botanist in different fields. One of the ideas that is being rediscovered is that he voted for not looking at a plant at a specific point in its life, but he said to understand a plant, you have to study it from the moment you have only the seed till the moment it dies. So just using a botanical moment is never appropriate if you want to classify something. Now, coming from culture, I kind of want to believe that he thought like this because he's a storyteller. If you tell a story, you need a beginning, you need a middle, you need an end. And this is probably how he also looked at nature, refusing to say one specific moment is what defines us. I'm not trying to convince you to read his botanical studies here. But what I want to speak about is the fact that Goethe himself was unhappy about the fact that people refused to see anything but the author in him. Once he had become published and people were very excited about his writing, every other thing he did in life kind of faded out or became a hobby that he pursued. So no one was willing to look at him as a scientist and as an author. It's kind of like society chose for him what he had to excel in. And this is really like an important point, speaking at a college for women, this happened to a very affluent man. So if societal expectations can do that to him, what can it do to women? We have come a very long way from the idea of the universal genius, the person who was supposed to know everything about everything. And I'm quite sure we agree that in today's time, this is not even an option anymore. No one can have the world knowledge anymore. But 200 years ago, Goethe already felt trapped by the idea of specialization. We live with the idea that you need to specialize and then you will be celebrated in one field, but the downside is that everything else becomes less important. I'm not even sure if I understand the majority of the topics you can study today. I'm probably lost on this. And I do know that if you study, you have to specialize. You need to choose your field. You need to excel in this field in order to get a job. But what I am trying to say is that a curious mind like Goethe was interested in so much more than one thing, and this is why he became the person we do remember today. If we look at today's world, and I do include my own institute in this, we have become very, very comfortable with departments. And this is why I really also like this multidisciplinary conference idea, because we tend to stay in our fields of comfort. We tend to stay in our ways of thinking. And I don't think this is appropriate for today's times anymore. The problems we face are so complex that no one discipline will ever be able to actually find solutions. So I do think we need to stop othering different departments, different fields of research, and pretending that they have nothing to do with what we do, because that is never true. There's always an interconnect. Also, Goethe was a happier person because he got to pursue different passions, and that is part of my reasoning. The problems today will only be solved if we start accepting that we need to apply multiple logics. We need minds that are flexible enough to question their own discipline, combine it with something else. We need minds that are open for discussion, and we need minds that accept that their own field has limitations. AI might be wonderful, but it's not going to solve all of our problems, no matter how good it works. And working like this as a person is not something that happens by itself. This is something we need to learn, and we need to nurture this kind of interdisciplinary discourse. Let me give you a very small example from my own field. At the Goethe Institute, of course, we teach German. And while it's a wonderful asset to learn a language as a means of communication, it is a lot more than that. When you learn German, you will find that there are some words which cannot be translated. They technically can be translated, but the translation is never going to express what it actually meant in German. One example would be, and it's one of my favorite, verschlimmbessern, which means it describes the process in which someone who's noticed that there is a mistake tries to make it better, but by doing so makes it even worse. You know the feeling, no? Now you know that the Germans have a word for that, verschlimmbessern. And the fact that German has a word like this shows you how process-focused Germans are in their work approach. This is just on like the word level, but also if you look at grammar. If you grow up in Germany, you only know Indo-European languages, right? So our entire thinking is subject, object, verb. This is how the world works. You start with a subject and you have an object, and then you tell what is happening with all of them. It's only when you come across a language like a very complicated language like Tamil that you realize that languages can work completely different. You can have, and then I need to look up the English version for that, agglutinative languages, agglutinierend in German, which means the construct has nothing to do with the languages you've learned before. And if you say languages work differently, this sounds very banal in a way, but it's really not. Everything you thought to be true about languages turns out to be just one possibility. And this kind of realization and this kind of change in perspective is something we all need to be experiencing once in a while. Skills are one thing, but also experiences. As mentioned before, I used to teach at university myself, and a lot of my very smart, very adorable students never left the campus. I hope this is very different here. Yes, no? No one wants to. In the end, college is the place, the time and the place where we actually have the chance to pursue different interests and to look at something that is completely outside of your comfort zone. And I really would like to stress that. If you have the chance to visit conferences like this, listen to things you know nothing about. There's a 50% chance you're going to leave and be like, nope, don't get it, and I also don't care. But there's also a 50% chance that A, you find it interesting and you've just not come across it before, or that it actually gives you a valuable input to whatever you are studying. It might be an idea, it might be a strategy, it might be an applied logic that opens up new avenues in your own field, and you would have never come across it had you not done this change of discipline. This is the place where you have the luxury, and I really mean that, to spend time thinking and questioning, which is best ways to spend your time. A time where you can find out if you're a good engineer and also a good poet. Or maybe you're brilliant in microbiology and you also want to read Sangam literature in Tamil. And none of them are mutually exclusive. All of this fits very well into one life. So what I'm trying to say is, be like Goethe in the way that he pursued all of his passions till the end, and do not be like Goethe. Don't let society tell you that you have to choose one of your passions. because that's simply not true. So please use your time here to find out what are these passions, and I'm sure college will be happy to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring address. Thanks for enriching this conference with your learning experiences. Really, it was enlightening address. Your insightful speech surely inspired us. Thank you very much. Next, I deemed it honor to welcome and introduce our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Sriharan Balan, Managing Director, Madura Travels Service Private Limited, Chancellor, Madura Institute of Tourism Studies, Chennai. Mr. Sriharan Balan received his bachelor's degree in engineering from St. Joseph's College, Chennai, and master's in psychology from the University of Madras. He also received international consultant certification from the Ministry of Tourism of USA, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Britain, and Dubai. He holds the following honorary designations: Chairman of Tourism Committee, Southern Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, South Indian Ambassador for Educational Tourism, Ministry of Tourism, Malaya, member of the Hotel Classification Committee representing IATA and Travel Agents Association of India, Chairman of PR and Communication for Tamil Nadu Tourism March from 2017, the founding managing committee member TTMS. He has actively involved himself in community service through his organization Student Mission 2020. He has initiated student clubs in colleges that provide training to thousands of students and have created job placements in airport, visa centers, airlines, hotels, travel agencies, etc. He has instituted the Madura Mamanidar Award and a check of 1 lakh rupees, which is given every year to a social service organization in appreciation of their great work. Sir, we are truly honored to have you here. May I now invite our chief guest, Mr. Sriharan Balan, to deliver valedictory address.
Vanakkam, warm greetings to the dignitaries on the dais, of the dais. My most respected Chairman Sir Muralidharan Sir. I think this is the first stage that we are having on a professional forum. We have a lot of get-togethers. I'm very fortunate to be invited today by the college. தமிழே பேசலாமா? ஏன்னா இப்போ ஒரு இங்கிலீஷ் படம் முடிஞ்சிச்சு, அதனால அப்படியே கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாம்னு நினைச்சேன். Anyway, so it's a very nice thing to be here. நம்ம எல்லாரும் இன்னைக்கு கேதர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஒரு அமேசிங் நியூ இயர் 2025 அப்புறம் எல்லாருமே ஒரு ரெசல்யூஷன் எடுத்திருப்பீங்கல்ல? Okay, I want someone to come on stage and tell their resolution. Quick. Can I have someone? Quick. One student. Can someone come quickly? Please come. Please. Come. Please come.
Hi, I'm Laksha and I'm from Economics Department, first PG. So, ரொம்ப பெருசான resolution கிடையாது. Just cutting my sugars and கொஞ்சம் junk foods. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So thank you so much and Happy New Year. So that is our first lesson of the day today, girls. Opportunity. I'll tell you, opportunity எப்போ வரும்னு தெரியாது, எப்போ கிடைக்கும்னு தெரியாது. I'll tell you my opportunities, how it came to me. நான் சொல்றேன். இங்க ஒரு பியூட்டிஃபுல்லான டான்ஸ் பார்த்தோம். சடனா கரண்ட் போயிடுச்சு. அந்த பொண்ணுங்க மூஞ்சில எந்த டென்ஷனும் இல்லை, அப்படியே they walked, திருப்பி பாட்டு போட்டாங்க, அதே எனர்ஜியோட they danced. First, can we have a round of applause for them? Because I'll tell you what happened. I became nervous sitting down. Because first time when I wanted to dance in life, 11th standard stage, first time I thought dancing in front of mirror was very easy, so I can dance. இதே மாதிரி ஒரு பெரிய ஆடிட்டோரியம் நிக்கிறேன், பாட்டு ஆஃப் ஆச்சு, கண்ணுல இருந்து கண்ணீர் வர ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சு. Boys don't cry, but I cried. See, I'll tell you, getting a stage is very, very difficult. But you know what happened? That became my motivational factor. Where I lost, I had to win. In the 12th, I won the overall best student award, including dancing, education, and everything. Getting a stage is very, very important because these opportunities is what is made today. Am I worth it? Am I not worth it? இதெல்லாம் எனக்கு தெரியாது. I don't know. I cannot calculate because, you know, என்னோட motivational story என்னன்னா, there was a king once upon a time where he wanted to get his daughter married. So he put up a notice saying, somebody has to swim across this lake around my fort to come over and get my daughter, but the lakes are filled with crocodiles. This was the notice. Everybody was scared. The king is standing in front of the crowd is on the other side. One fellow jumped inside, swam very, very fast. And he came to this side, and the king was surprised. He was very proud. And he said, okay, so you like my daughter so much. You like my royalty. What made you jump? What was your motivation? He just said, nothing is the motivation, but I want to find who pushed me from back. This was my motivational story because every time when there is an opportunity, I make sure that I jump myself. I be that person who pushed me into that situation. And the example in 2011, when I entered the tourism trade, 2011 was my entry into the tourism trade. When somebody reads my profile, they'll be really confused because I hold a bachelor's degree in engineering, a master's degree in psychology, a consultant degree in tourism. I'm pursuing my PhD now as well. The thing is, people don't know what. So people thoroughly know I was a confused kid. I was a complete confused kid when they read my profile. But I'll tell you what happened is, when I finished my engineering, I was one of the very few engineers who got placed in an engineering college, who got placed in an engineering job. I was placed in Caterpillar with a very, very good sum of money. And that was my vision. நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து மேத்ஸ் பிடிக்கும், physics பிடிக்கும்னா இங்கே அலர்ஜி. எனக்கு மேத்ஸ் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். With that idea, I joined my engineering. My score in my 12th was 97.5%. With that, I got a free seat. I took up my engineering. Engineering முடிச்சிட்டு, I was one of the few people who got the engineering job. But God was more kind to me. 15 days since my job, I met with an accident. I was bedridden for 6 to 8 months. When I came back, I was nothing. Again, starting from zero. You know, I'll tell you, there is a saying where the last benchers will become very, very successful in life. ஏன் தெரியுமா? The last benchers will see failures and failures. அவங்களுக்கு failures பார்த்தா பயமே கிடையாது. ஜெயிச்சுட்டா புதுசா இருக்கும். ஆனா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல உட்கார்ற என்ன மாதிரி கேரக்டர்ஸ் இருக்காங்கல்ல, தோத்தோட லைஃபே போயிருச்சுன்னு நினைச்சிருவோம். Similarly, that's how it was. But I was fortunate enough to meet the right people at the right time. So one of my dad's friends said, your dad has a legacy. Why are you going somewhere else? You should follow the tourism trade. I said, I don't know anything about travel. Tourism, I'm an engineer. I've only studied about it. He said, no, you're nothing now. You're zero. Why don't you give it a try? It was just a try. I entered travel and tourism. And to my luck or to my fortune or to my hard work, the first examination that I took with IATA, I scored India topper distinction. So I was a distinction in IATA in 2011, followed which it gave me confidence with the tourism. Okay, I'm somewhere fit for this. And a first word, when I entered the trade, the chairman of the association called me and said, right now technology is taken over. Everybody are booking tickets online. Our trade is a dying trade. You have made the worst decision in your life. This is the first word I'm hearing from one of the senior most travel consultant of Chennai. Followed which a lot of people similar way they were telling. There is no more scope, online is taken over. I was just wondering, people are traveling, there are so many things there. Why are people saying this is a dead field? Why is this? But when I visited London, anga vandu travel companies are there, US la travel companies are there. Those are first world countries which are much more ahead, but still they have travel companies. But why Indian travel agents are scared? You know what? They were scared to adapt to technology. I think rightly Muralidharan sir had quoted. Nama eppayume, I'll tell you a word. If you ignore technology, the technology will ignore you. Simple as it. Once you try to ignore technology, it will ignore you. Similarly, 2011, I took up this consultation process for tourism, the first ever of South of India. And today, I should say, we are the leading organization. உங்களுக்கு புரியுற மாதிரி சொல்லணும்னா, we entered into the event business, the travel, international travel tourism business. I can quote a number of things, but உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா புரியுற மாதிரி சொல்றேன். இப்ப ரீசெண்டா நடந்த the famous wedding in Japan, actor Napoleon's son, அந்த வெட்டிங் பண்ணது நம்ம கம்பெனி தான். One of the most complicated movement that we have done was that on those lines, இன்னைக்கு நீங்க பார்க்குற IPL ல இருந்து இது எல்லாமே falls under tourism, and one travel company or either is taking care of all this movement that is happening across the globe. So always look out for opportunities. I will tell you one major breakthrough opportunity in my life. Again, I'll tell you, எத்தனை பேருக்கு 2020 March 23rd ஞாபகம் இருக்கு? லாக்டவுன்ல அந்த லாக்டவுன் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்றப்ப ஐ திங்க் ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ வுட் ஹவ் பீன் மச் மோர் யங்கர். 14 days ஹாலிடேன்றது மட்டும் தான் நம்ம கண்ணுக்கு வந்துச்சுல்ல. 14 days of holiday கிடைக்குது. What fun we had in that 14 days. Now, can you people remember? Fun. Then it became 21 days. Fun கொஞ்சம் அப்படியே ஸ்லோ டவுன் ஆச்சு. போக போக அப்பதான் தெரிஞ்சு how living with the family is difficult. ஸ்கூலுக்கு போயிட்டு வரப்ப, வேலைக்கு போயிட்டு வரப்ப, we will not realize that. But you know, one problem with characters like me, I don't watch movies. I work with a lot of stars. I work with a lot of production company. We also do line production for a lot of companies. In the foreign shoot, most of the shoot we only do. But I don't watch movies because I cannot sit in front of a screen for 3 hours. I can sit and talk to Muralidharan sir for 6 hours because I'm getting all his experience. But in front of a theater or a screen, I cannot sit. So for a boy like me, 23rd lockdown, just imagine. So I was having my lunch and always news odu. Enga veetla something or the other, what's happening na. Appa I found a news saying that Malaysian nationals are having a strike in the airport. They're not able to go. So I found something is wrong. Why is the Malaysian nationals not able to go? So there was, I think sir would also know, the past Consul General Saravana Karathikeyan sir. So I called him. I said, sir, your people are all having a strike and what is it here and I don't know what to do. My country is saying we are closed. It's because of COVID cases. We don't want new cases to come inside. So you stay there safely. India is saying you are not my citizen. Please leave my country. Always understand when there is a war between two countries, the people will be taken to a safer side. But COVID, every place is a danger. Correct? Now where will people travel? So I said, Faral, or opportunity. Super. I called Saravanan sir. I said, I'm coming to the consulate. I took special permission. 24th, I met him in the consulate. He said, I don't know what to do, how to do, what can we do? I said, let's frame work. Let's see what can be done. Just imagine, till 22nd, I am a travel agent selling tour packages. 24th, I am sitting in the meeting, me, the Consul General of Malaysia, the Prime Minister's Office of Malaysia on a big screen. We are all sitting in the meeting. 24th. And we are discussing how to save the people of a country. ஒரு சாதாரண டிராவல் ஏஜென்ட் அன்னைக்கு உட்காந்து மக்களை காப்பாத்துறது பத்தி சூப்பர்மேன் மாதிரி பேசிக்கிட்டு இருக்கோம். That is the opportunities which will take. That was one of our most successful movement where we moved the Malaysians. We moved 3,000 people in a week's time. In the 3,000 people, I'll tell you, there were 4 pregnant ladies. They were due. They were heart patients. Looking at which Sri Lankan embassy called me, Krishnamurthy sir. Followed which French embassy. So we started supporting all foreign nationals to move. So இன்னைக்கும் நான் சொல்லுவேன், I was the most busiest travel consultant in all of COVID. Whereas my fellow travel consultants didn't know what to do. They were selling sanitizers. Please understand, opportunities are always around you. Opportunities is spread across. நம்ம என்ன தெரியுமா பண்ணுவோம்? We will just fear. We'll say, why should we? இதெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு வராது, நம்மளால முடியாது. See, I'll tell you, throw that thought outside. Because யாருக்கு இங்க நல்ல மேத்ஸ் வரும்? Somebody is good at maths. அதுல கை மேல போயிட்டு கேட்கலாம் வரும். Complication, engineering maths எல்லாம் கேட்க மாட்டேன், சாதாரண மேத்ஸ் தான். Who is good at maths? Please come, white t-shirt. எல்லாரும் பேப்பர் பேனா எடுத்துக்கிறீங்களா? அப்படின்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன், கவலைப்படாதீங்க. It's just a mental math that we're going to do, because today I wish to gift you all something that is priceless. சரியா? அந்த ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு விஷயத்துக்கு தான் I've called our friend. உங்க பேருமா? சுகந்தி. ஓகே, நீங்க மைக்ல வேணாம், பட் சுகந்தி and all of you ஒரு quick math பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. நம்ம பேச she'll do that small math. Okay, how many hours do we have in a day? Okay, 24. How many hours do we sleep? 8 hours. 24 minus 8, 16. Okay, right, 16 hours. இப்ப சாப்பிடுறதுக்குலாம் how long do we eat for one meal? One meal 30 minutes, half an hour, இல்ல ரெண்டு ஒன்று தான் நினைக்கிறேன். சரி, ஓகே, 30 minutes. 3 மீல் சாப்பிடுவோமா? 4 meals வச்சுக்கலாம் பாவம். ஓகே, ரைட். 4 mealsனா how long is it? 14. ஓகே, -4. அவங்க ஆன்சரே போயிட்டாங்க. ஓகே, so 2 hours போயிடுச்சு. So we have 14 hours in hand. கரெக்டா? காலேஜ் எவ்வளவு நேரம் உங்களுக்கு? 5 hours. 8 hours, 6. என்னடா ஆளாளுக்கு ஒண்ணு சொல்றீங்க? 5 hours. சரி, உங்களுக்கு வேணா எனக்கு வேணாம், 5 வச்சுக்கலாமா? ஓகே, 5 hours. சரி, 5 hours. How much do we have in hand? 9. Okay, 9 hours we have. சரி, கம்யூட்டுக்கு காலேஜ் வந்துட்டு போகணும். ஓகேவா? சரி, ஓகே, 2 hours. சரி, 2 hours வச்சுக்கலாம். சரி, 2 hours. இப்ப எவ்வளவு இருக்கு கையில? 7 hours. வேற என்னலாம் இருக்கு ஆக்டிவிட்டி ஒரு நாளைக்கு? டிவி. What are the other activities do we do in a day? General. இல்ல, I'm telling you, live பண்றதுக்கான ஆக்டிவிட்டி. Anything else? சரி, ஒரு இதுக்கு வச்சுப்போம். சரியா? அது பிசிக்கல் ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு ஒரு 1 hour வைக்கலாமா? 1 hour. இப்ப எவ்வளவு இருக்கு? சரி, வேற ஏதாவது சொல்லுங்களா? சரி, படிக்கணும், அதை தவிர எல்லாமே சொல்றீங்க. ஓகே, படிக்கணும். என்ன That's why these are not like this. Book padikrappa, one point of time you will come. I'll tell you, in this world, there are only two things that calls its clients as users. One is the software industry. Second is the drug industry. Unfortunately, both are almost very, very addictive. Please understand, the most precious thing that we have today with us is the time. The time we lose today, we cannot get back. That's the most precious thing that we have. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, there is one opportunity in front of you. You all have 5 hours. From today, all of you are first year, second year, third years? Okay. Weekly, 5 days, spend 2 to 3 hours for your future. When I say, please do an internship or please go for a part-time job. When I say part-time job, don't look at the money and go. Look at the experience and go. Now, why I'm telling you this is, I've gifted you 5 hours every day today. First year, when you finish third year, you will go to an interview with 3 years of work experience. Adoda live example solren. I think there are students from the tourism degree, correct? Your senior, one Miss Fatima, she worked for me. She just got married. She was working with me for 2.5 years. I'll tell you, that girl came to me for an internship program. This happened for real. So we are handling one of the most serious file, very, very important file of Laika Productions. Most of you know Laika Productions during the time of the Ponniyin Selvam release. So we are handling a very, very critical case. Within a day, we need to process UK visas. So we are sitting and discussing, and this girl was just listening. Adathanal Kalila, the VFS was here. 6 o'clock, some volunteer has to be there to coordinate. But everybody are busy. That's when COVID just opened. This girl immediately put her hand up saying, sir, I will do. I said, you're staying far away. No, sir, I'll come. She woke up 3 o'clock that day. She stays far. 4 o'clock she started. 5 o'clock she came here, coordinated with VFS. She welcomed every star, every person there. Then she processed everything and she left to college. She was in college that day. She finished and again she came back for the internship in the evening. See, I'll tell you, that's the respect I have for your institution. And the opportunity, the teacher solli kuduthirukanga pathingala. See, never miss out on opportunities. With which I have a great respect for this institution. So, technology, you would have listened to technology and other things over the last 2 days. Please understand, for whoever came and spoke to you, their 1 hour today is worth thousands and lakhs. But your college was kind enough to bring them to you, make them talk to you. In the opportunity, Allah, please have a getaway from this. Please get something. Please use this for your life. You have a very, very bright future ahead. With that one last note, I'm going to finish my valedictory speech. So I'll tell you, 10 years, namala, okay, 5 years are kappa, girls kita dipa kekla, lollipop ethana perukku pidikum. 5 vayasa irukappa, when you were 5 years old, your mom gave you a lollipop, okay? And your sister snatched it from you and left. What will that 5-year-old do? Cry. Sir, fight. 5-year-old fight. Veera Thamizhachi. Very good. So technically a 5-year-old will cry. 12 years, 13 years varappa, somebody snatched that lollipop from you. Appa maybe you will fight. 21 year, 22 year anaprom, somebody snatched, a small kid snatched a lollipop from you. What will you do? Huh? You will let it go. Correcta? Correcta? This is the same thing in life we have today. 5 years இருக்கப்ப ஒரு விஷயம் ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டண்டா தெரியும் நம்மளுக்கு வாழ்க்கையில. அதுதான் நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில நினைப்போம். அது நம்ம கைவிட்டு போறப்ப we will feel heartbroken, we'll cry. நீங்க 17 18 வயசா இருக்கப்ப சில விஷயங்கள் உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப முக்கியமா தெரியும். அது உங்களுக்கு 28 வயசா இருக்கப்ப அது ஒண்ணுமே இல்லைன்னு தோணும். I'll tell you girls, live your life to the fullest. Live your life to the fullest. This is just one life. நான் இன்னைக்கும் சொல்வேன், I am only Sriharan in this life. I visited 78 countries now. I've had food across the world. I'm only Sriharan this. So live your life to the fullest. Make mistakes, learn from your mistakes, walk ahead, keep your head straight. ஒரு பெண் மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்ட்ராங்கான women உலகத்திலே கிடையாது. That's why God gifted you to give birth. So please understand, you're all gifted. Don't be scared of anything in life. Be very bold. Go ahead. With that note, I wish you all the best. நான் எப்பயும் சொல்றது தான், I would want to meet you all in a foreign country. அப்ப என்னை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா please come and introduce yourself. I wish you a very, very all the best. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking speech. Undoubtedly, our students got motivated and encouraged. I express my wholehearted gratitude for taking the time to share your knowledge and experience with us. Thank you very much, sir. The two-day conference has generated a lot of deliberations on key issues related to research and innovation in industry and academia, and addressed crucial challenges in contemporary scenario pertaining to the same. I now invite Dr. R. Geeta Lakshmi, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, Self-Supporting, to present Rapporteur's report.
A very good evening to the August gathering. The third series of the International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation in Academia and Industry is a breakthrough effort of the Departments of Economics, English Aided and Self-Supporting, History and TTA, BCom Bank Management, Business Economics, and BCom Corporate Secretaryship Aided and Self-Supporting. The core objectives of the conference include to address the crucial challenges, elucidate key policy decisions, to cultivate the intellectual growth of young minds bridging academia and industry. The keynote address was delivered by Ms. Mami Teroka, researcher and advisor for culture and information at the Consulate General of Japan, who highlighted Japan's students' culture, skill development, and the importance of cultural collaboration. She emphasized the need for cross-cultural partnerships in education to foster creativity, global outlooks, and shared solutions, ensuring in terms of technical expertise and cultural awareness. Dr. Thamizhachi Thangapandian, Member of Parliament for South Chennai, emphasized the critical link between academia and industry and called for greater collaboration to empower students and drive socio-economic growth in her inaugural address. She praised the government of Tamil Nadu's Naan Mudhalvan scheme, skill development program, which bridges the gap between education and employability through industry-relevant training. She urged students to leverage such opportunities to enhance their skills and prepare for a competitive global workforce. The event also witnessed the release of the conference proceedings of the previous year and the release of the academic journal published by the Departments of Economics Aided and the launch of the online journal by the Department of English Aided. Technical sessions of day one. Mr. Fahim Ahmed's session emphasized that core marketing strategies remain consistent even in the era of digital and influencer marketing. He concluded by highlighting the importance of leveraging AI to enhance business efficiency and the quality of work life. His message underscored AI as a tool for improvement and not replacement. Mrs. Mary Magdalene discussed the contrast in consumer behavior and market trends between India and USA. She elaborated on strategies in digital marketing, including the use of augmented reality, virtual reality, gamification, and AI-driven techniques. Dr. Vigneshwar Kumar discussed the evolution of technology and education into AI-centric domains, highlighting the risk of humanizing AI. He showcased AI-generated tools transforming education and addressed the industry's shifting landscape due to AI integration. Dr. Renia Lampo focused on AI's transformative role in education and research, emphasizing in tools and applications for enhancing learning, and scholarly work. Dr. D. Uttara discussed the challenges of AI implementation, emphasizing the need for human intervention and AI-human collaboration to ensure effective integration and optimal outcomes in business scenarios. Dr. C. Sheila Sasikumar reviewed the essential skills for women entrepreneurs and outlined the steps for startup formation. Her insights were on scaling products for business growth through effective market research practices. Dr. Sita Lakshmi emphasized the importance of mother tongue in preserving culture, history, and identity. She encouraged utilizing technology to learn other languages while fostering global unity in diversity. Professor Nandan Shastri discussed the role of community museums in preserving heritage and tradition through active community involvement. He emphasized amplifying community voices to safeguard cultural ecosystems. Additionally, he highlighted the museum's vital role in fostering conservation and ecological understanding. Vetri Papa discussed strategies for students to achieve international degrees, focusing on global education opportunities and the importance of selecting higher studies to boost employability. Dr. J. John Shaker shared insights on the pros and cons of interdisciplinary studies, offering participants valuable knowledge pertaining to integrating multiple disciplines. Dr. Darshana Samaravira delivered an insightful session on transformation role of language teachers in the digital age, guiding students through the technology-driven learning environment. Dr. K. Paul J. Kumar presentation on essential cybersecurity practices to improve online safety and enrich the knowledge of advanced technology in detecting threats and mitigating losses. Dr. Stuckey discussed on dementia care and its importance for both young and the old. He emphasized the significance of identifying symptoms of dementia and caring for the elderly with love and affection. Dr. Arjuma Ara explored the academic research across hydrology, potamology, and cultural artifacts like films and emerging subfields such as eco-criticism, ecofeminism, eco-pedagogy, and ecoscopy. Dr. Radha Appan elaborated on mastering the art of interviewing. She provided students with valuable insights into commonly asked interview questions, aiding their preparation for the process. Dr. M. Satyakumar discussed empowering rural youth for societal and national transformation. He encouraged students to drive impactful change and contribute to societal upliftment. Ms. Genofi Anto Rosario lectured on behavioral economics, covered key topics such as pricing strategies, cognitive biases like IKEA effect, and status quo basis on the role of incentives. Ms. Mehta Nutakia emphasized the importance of leveraging AI, fostering innovation, and embracing adaptability as essential factors for succeeding in fast-changing business environment. Technical sessions of day 2. Dr. Kalpana Karunagaran highlighted the role of language teachers in using technology to enhance learning, connect students with global cultures, and use technology responsibly while preserving cultural nuances. Mr. Rajesh Rajamani discussed how Tamil cinema focuses on caste issues and social injustice in contrast to Bollywood's neglect of regional identities. He noted that Tamil films have evolved to address caste dynamism and highlighted marginalized communities. Mrs. Sai Lakshmi Govindan shed light on transformation of AI across industries, particularly in banking, where it automates tasks and improves efficiency. She also pointed out the challenges such as bias, job displacement, and privacy concerns, emphasizing the need for responsible integration. Ms. So Peng Kiang spoke about the growth of news research into media leaders, stressing the importance of adaptability, customer focus, and the commitment to empowering future generations while fostering inclusivity for sustainable growth. Ms. S. Muttukirtana's speech focused on integrating environmental humanities, traditional knowledge, and modern science to address environmental challenges. Professor Dr. Sarah Hussain demonstrated that women are often undervalued in higher management roles due to cultural factors. She called for flexible work environments, maternity leave, and leadership opportunities to empower women and to support their career advancement. Ms. Ragi Ravi explored the impact of data analytics across various sectors, emphasizing its role in decision making, career opportunities, and optimizing operations in areas like sales, marketing, and supply chain management. She also highlighted how data science is pivotal in optimizing business strategies. Professor Kim Yong-jung urged students to adopt innovative approaches and to integrate science and multidisciplinary research and technologies like AI in archaeology to gain historical insights. Dr. Sushma V. Murthy discussed how popular culture perpetuates toxic masculinity by depicting men as violent and dominant, advocating critical approaches to masculinity to foster equitable gender dynamics. Ms. Meena Chabria emphasized on the uniqueness of each journey, the need for constant positivity over feedback, and avoiding suggestions from friends or family, concluding with the idea that self-understanding brings quantum energy to life. Ms. Vimalanandan Iyer spoke on digital marketing and AI, covering nuances of digital marketing. He elaborated tools like Google Analytics, SEO, SEM, Google Ads, ChatGPT, Sora, and Canva for free certification courses for students. Mr. Vivek Iyer delivered a speech on digital workplaces for the future, focusing on the evolution of AI in various industries and the rise of T-shaped professionals. He provided insights on AI-related job opportunities for innovation, creativity, and human progress. Dr. A. Vishek Paru's session emphasized on the role of memory in shaping identity and the importance of interdisciplinary research focusing on literature, AI, and digital tools. Dr. Chandra Hun's Chavan's session focused on digital transformation, highlighting the shift from the manual process to automation with Industry 4.0 and 5.0. He emphasized the role of AI, IoT, and blockchain, along with the need to reskill the workforce and foster strategic partnership for sustainable developments. Dr. Vijay Shekhar Ashokan gave insights on the shift of interdisciplinary to multidisciplinary, leading to transdisciplinary approach to achieve the task of sustainable goals, and also pointed out that the sustainable culture is important for transformative future. Ms. Shruti Krishnan Radhakrishnan lecture was given on the speaker's personal experience about augmented reality and virtual reality in her workplace. She highlighted about the Industrialization 4.1, which is integration of AI, machine learning of Internet of Things, and more about the blockchain in association with small contracts. Dr. Vidya Sarveshwaran emphasized on environmental humanities, addressing contemporary environmental crises and disciplines with humanities, including environmental justice and eco-philosophy. Dr. Shobana Mani highlighted the effectiveness of active retrieval practices with scientific evidence stating the importance of exercise in an enhanced ability to learn. She also gave a lot of practical and actionable steps that would be very useful for the students for improving their study skills. The valedictory session, the grand finale of the two-day international conference, Series 3, is complemented by the presence of Dr. Katrina Georgian, Director, Goethe Institute, Chennai, and Mr. Sriharan Balan, Managing Director, Madura Travel Services Private Limited, Chancellor, Madura Institute of Tourism Studies, Chennai. Both the eminent speakers applauded the collective efforts of the organizers in facilitating collaborative interdisciplinary academic research activities. To conclude, the two-day international conference organized by the Ethiraj College for Women has laid a strong emphasis on interdisciplinary contributions, fostering innovation and research, bridging the gap between the academia and industry, setting a robust foundation for future collaboration and intellectual growth. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for presenting such a well-structured report. Your summary has succinctly captured the essence of the conference. It's time for honoring. We are immensely pleased to honor our dignitaries. First, I request our chairman, Thiru V.M. Muralidharan sir, to honor our dignitaries. Please, sir. I invite Dr. D.B. Usharani ma'am, former Principal in charge and Secretary in charge, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Economics, convener of the conference, to honor our chairman, sir, with a memento as a token of our respect. Now I invite Dr. T. Kausalya Kumari ma'am, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of History and TTM, co-convener of the conference, to formally propose vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all present here. Living in a state of gratitude is the gateway to grace. I quote Ariana Huffington. I deem it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. This day will be remembered as a milestone in the history of Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai, for organizing International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research and Innovation in Academia and Industry. I take this opportunity to thank our chief guest of the valedictory function, Dr. Katharina Gorgon, Director, Goethe Institute, Chennai, for a special address on this occasion. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to thank our another chief guest, Mr. Sriharan Balan, Managing Director, Madurai Travel Service Private Limited, Chancellor, Madurai Institute of Tourism Studies, Chennai, for his precious presence in his busy schedule and delivering valedictory address on this special occasion. Thank you, sir. I express my sincere thanks to Thiru V.M. Muralidharan for his majestic presence and the support in organizing the conference. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. S. Uma Gauri, for her encouragement in organizing the conference. I also wish to thank the Vice Principal of AIDED, Mrs. Vijaya, and self-supporting Dr. Jayanti Ma'am for their presence and their support. I express my deep sense of gratitude to the conference convener, Dr. D.B. Usharani, former Principal in charge and Secretary in charge, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of Economics, Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai, for her valuable guidance and timely advice to organize the conference successfully. I also extend my special thanks to the conference convener, Dr. T. Usha Priya, Associate Professor and Head, Department of BCom Bank Management, Self-Supporting, Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai, for providing encouragement and support at every point of time. I am extremely thankful to my co-conveners, Dr. J. Mangair Karasi, Associate Professor and Head, PG and Research Department of English, Mrs. Beulah Japakumari Suganti, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, Dr. M. Hema Bindu, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Business Economics, Mrs. Yashoda, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English, and Dr. R. Geeta Lakshmi, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Corporate Secretaryship. I express my gratitude to Dr. R.K. Maya, the Controller of Examination, for the financial support for the conference. I must mention my deep sense of appreciation to all coordinators and members of the organizing committee of the conference. Dr. G. Neelavati, Associate Professor, Department of Economics. Dr. G. Radhika, Associate Professor, Department of Economics. Dr. A. Sharada, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics. Dr. C. Sunita, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics. Dr. R. Sangeeta, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics. Dr. Sophia Azad, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Dr. J. Saranya, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Dr. B. Tenmalar Bharati, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Mrs. M. Tenmari, Assistant Professor, Department of English. Dr. K. Saraswati, Assistant Professor, Department of History and TTM. Dr. K. Menaka, Assistant Professor, Department of History and TTM. Dr. P. Maheshwari, Assistant Professor, Department of History and TTM. Dr. A. Vasanthi, Assistant Professor, Department of History and TTM. Mrs. S. Sundari, Assistant Professor, Department of History and TTM. Dr. P. S. Vijayalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Economics. Dr. S. Saumya, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Economics. Mr. Ms. B. Priyanka, Assistant Professor, Department of BCom Management, Bank Management. Ms. B. Chitra, Associate Professor, Department of English. Ms. B. Bharati, Associate Professor, Department of English. Ms. K. A. Deepa, Associate Professor, Department of English. Dr. R. Vijayalakshmi, Associate Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship. Mrs. T. Yakshita, Assistant Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship. Ms. Meenakshi S., Faculty and Department of Corporate Secretaryship. Ms. Nikita Johanna J., Faculty, Department of Corporate Secretaryship. Mrs. S. Nazia, Faculty, Department of Corporate Secretaryship. Ms. S. Nitishri, Faculty, Department of BCom Bank Management. I wish to extend our sincere thanks to all chief guest invitees from different destinations to grace the occasion. My special thanks to all online and offline guest speakers of the conference. I would like to thank Mrs. Amudan for the stage decoration. I also thank our college photographer, Ms. Radhika, to capture the momentous moments of the conference. I really thank our beloved students for their support and cooperation in organizing the conference and for being a wonderful audience. This conference is meant to disseminate the knowledge in the area of the research and also kindle the young minds to do innovative research in their disciplines. I can assure that it definitely serves the purpose of the conference. Thank you all once again. Have a great evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words have truly reflected the spirit of gratitude and appreciation. This conference focuses on multidisciplinary approach, uniting the expertise of 8 departments to foster collaboration and innovation. To achieve fruitful results, we have adopted an interdisciplinary approach, ensuring seamless blend of knowledge and skills. Furthermore, we executed a transdisciplinary approach by bringing together esteemed speakers from across all the 7 continents, offering diverse perspectives to enrich this platform. We hope we will all meet again in the 4th edition of the conference. Thank you all for making this conference a grand success. I request everyone to rise for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे